Welcome to Thomasville LifeTech, the Alabama Board of Pardons and Paroles' response to climbing recidivism rates and overcrowded prisons. Thomasville LifeTech Transition Center for Male Parolees opened in April of 2006. The campus has a storied history. Acres of wood and farmland were transformed in the late 1950s into a state-of-the-art radar base. After the radar base closed, the site became home to a state mental health facility. After 25 years, the facility was closed when the Department of Mental Health downsized in 2003. For a couple of years, the building sat idle, and then the old military housing units were used to shelter Hurricane Katrina evacuees for a time. But then, Governor Bob Riley, at the recommendation of the Task Force on Prison Overcrowding, decided to open the first male transition center here to make use of the spacious 91-acre site and the existing housing units and offices. The opening was announced January 11, 2006, and by the 1st of April, the first residents had arrived. Repairs were still being made, and those first residents helped get the facility in better shape. The governor was among the many officials and well-wishers who were on hand for the open house later that year. The program is now operating on a continuous schedule of receiving a new group every 6 weeks. We accept up to 60 residents at a time, and we have a 300-bed capacity. An orientation session is held when each new group arrives to go over the facility rules and to inform the residents of the expectations of pardons and paroles, education, and treatment staff. At each 6 weeks orientation, we have residents arriving here from correctional facilities all over the state. During that first week, residents get their photo IDs made at education, they hear from each entity as far as what services are provided, they are assessed by the treatment provider, and they take tests. Lots of tests. They are given the TABE test, or a test of adult basic education, which shows their educational attainment level and helps with placement later. They also take the Work Keys test, which shows how well they can perform in basic tasks that they might be required on a job site. Work Keys indicates their aptitudes and their weaknesses and suggests career choices. Treatment begins in their second week, and each resident is assigned to a counselor. The treatment program is contracted through West Alabama Mental Health. Treatment classes and group sessions are held on topics including substance abuse, parenting, basic living skills, anger management, and reducing criminal thinking. West Alabama also helps identify residents who don't have a high school diploma or GED, especially those with literacy issues. As soon as they're identified, those residents begin taking classes to prepare for their GED or just to learn to read and write. Then, after the treatment component, the residents move to education. Those who have a diploma spend the entire day in technical classes and some remedial education classes to boost their grammar and math skills. The technical trades that are taught at LifeTech Institute include welding, painting and drywall, masonry, electricity, and carpentry. The curriculum is a standardized craft training program developed by the National Center for Construction Education and Research, or NCCER. Those who complete the classes are placed on NCCER's registry so employers can verify their coursework. We've developed good relationships with some employers, and a few even come to the site to recruit from our soon-to-be graduates. These employers appreciate the fact that our curriculum includes safety classes. One extra we've been able to offer is forklift certification. The electrical instructor is a certified forklift trainer, and almost 100% of our program completers receive a certificate in forklift operation. Some have been able to obtain warehouse jobs after leaving. Alabama Southern Community College is our education partner, along with post-secondary education. The education component also includes job placement. A job placement coordinator helps residents with resume writing and preparing for an interview. They're walked through the process of enrolling with Alabama's online job bank. Another state agency on site also helps residents obtain jobs. Vocational rehabilitation works with those who have a disability that would qualify them to receive a monthly check, but they would rather work and earn an income. Then there are our ministry partners. Third Cross Ministries has an office on site, and its director helps residents with basic needs. She also finds funds for the indigent residents who need to get their identification documents, IDs, and birth certificates. She solicits donations for the clothes closet to help out residents who come here with nothing but their prison whites. Local churches and individuals come on site to teach Bible studies and hold worship services, and they bring donations of clothing and toiletries. Music evangelist Kevin Derryberry gives regular performances here. We Care, which is very active in the prison system, also sends its instructors here for character building instruction, as does Rock of Ages Ministry. And now we get to the pardons and paroles component of LifeTech. First, let's start with some of the ancillary aspects. The cafeteria serves 3 meals a day, Monday through Friday, and 2 meals on the weekends. We have recreational facilities on site, including a basketball court and a weight room. Residents also enjoy horseshoes, ping pong, pool, and other games, but of course gambling is prohibited. The treatment component sets up family day visits on the site, and they also have occasional programs for the entire campus, especially around the holidays. A favorite part of the day for many residents is afternoon mail call. Others get a lot of benefit from the AA and NA meetings, and some of our residents even serve as peer facilitators. The treatment staff requires that those with alcohol and substance abuse issues continue to participate in one aftercare program each week. Before they leave, residents are given an exit orientation. Information is distributed on mainstream and faith-based service providers in their home county. If they can just get a little assistance in those first turbulent weeks, we feel they'll have a lot better chance of succeeding. Before they leave, they're also briefed on the ICE program, Isolating the Criminal Element, which aims at preventing violent crimes and the illegal possession of firearms by felons. How is supervision here different than in the field? The pardons and parole staff have identified some of the barriers residents experience when they re-enter society and the workforce, and we begin addressing them upon their arrival. For instance, many of these men have lived off the grid for years, and they don't have driver's licenses, IDs, or birth certificates. If they work for cash. We recognize that having these identifying documents is a must in today's society, especially when it comes to getting a job. If they were receiving disability payments before they were incarcerated, their counselor works with them to get those checks started again. The parole officers have an extensive checklist of what is required from each resident. Another difference the officers here experience is in the frequency with which they see the men on their caseload. They don't just see them once a month or once a quarter. They see some of these guys every day. They keep up with their grades and they push them to do better if they're not doing well. Officers in the field may observe the 3-strike rule, but at LifeTech, we don't. These men have an opportunity, and they are told from day one not to take it for granted. It's not that we're taking a hard stance, but if they don't want to comply with our rules, they're probably not going to comply with society's rules. What are the results of this program? Well, we are keeping about 500 men out of prison each year. We are equipping those who complete the program with the skills and the tools they need to succeed. We're helping families reunite, and we're helping make communities across the state safer by returning men who are less likely to commit a crime. Our current recidivism rate is under 12%. We've had over 1,200 men earn certificates at LifeTech Institute, and hundreds of those also earned forklift certification. Scores of them earned their GED while they were here, and our GED passing rate is higher than the state average. We're setting higher benchmarks for each graduating class when it comes to GED attainment and employment levels. As New York Mayor Michael R. Bloomberg recently said, reentry is an issue that we all have stake in, because if someone leaving our jails and prisons decides that the only way he or she can survive is by breaking the law again, then everyone's safety is at risk. It is in everybody's interest to make sure we do everything we can to get to those young men and women who go through our penal system the education they need, so that's not the only way that they can feed themselves. We have to understand that people need our help and that we should do it for compassionate reasons, but there's also a great economic reason. If we want to leave our children a better city, a better country, a better life, we've got to stop this turnstile justice. That's our goal at Thomasville LifeTech.